No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Look, I take them where I find them. And what you're telling me is your wife and 3 children say, I can't take it anymore. You're going to either have to give that up or give us up. And you say, well, I would be so unpleasant to be around that y'all just need to go on. I'm going to let my children walk out the door over a computer game. You realize we're talking about a game here. It's not even like basketball. You don't even get to bounce it. It's a keyboard game that you're playing. Are you like a character in the game?
Yeah, you create characters in the game.
And so you have like some kind of avatar or something, so you're a player in the game, and then you've met other players in the game and gotten emotionally involved with some of them, correct?
Yeah.
And so these were women that you started to talk to and communicate with. When you're sitting in the other room with 3 kids, he's in there flirting on the internet with some other gamer.
Right. Hiding it from me.
So you've got a 2-dimensional, unknown female, and you would rather spend time there than with a living, breathing, flesh and blood child, or wife. Not one of the 4 could register to somebody you don't even know, somebody that looks like an eagle or something on a computer screen. Does that sound...
It sounds retarded.
Well, thank you for finishing that sentence for me, because that's not good logic, right? But you know that now. You see that. Okay, look, when Bob and Tiffany's daughter was a year old, she broke her arm while Bob was supposed to be watching her. He didn't break her arm. I'm not suggesting that. But he was too busy playing that online game, EverQuest, to be responsive to the situation. I'm going to ask him about that when we come back.
There was a female that I was playing EverQuest with, and I gave her my phone number. It felt nice to have somebody else showing me attention.
I received a phone call from a man that said my husband was having an affair with his wife.
I was not having an affair.
I didn't believe my husband. I felt betrayed and extremely hurt.
Part of me did feel bad, and part of me didn't. I gave up the game for 6 months, but then I went back.
Well, according to a Stanford University School of Medicine study, 1 out of 8 American adults have problematic internet use. That means that somehow or another it's interfering with their life. And people always ask me, Dr. Phil, what's normal? And the way I define normal is ask yourself, does this interfere with my life? Does it get in my way of the things that I care about and pursue? And if the answer is yes, then whatever you're doing is not normal. Bob and Tiffany aren't even living under the same roof right now because Tiffany says her husband's addiction to this online game EverQuest has ruined their marriage. Now, according to Tiffany, he's already had not 1 but 2 online affairs with other online gamers. And even after their son was diagnosed with a brain tumor, Bob promised that he would quit the game, but he did not. What do you think about that? Is this normal?
It's abnormal. It definitely interferes with your life. To play the game, EverQuest, if you log on, you're going to be on a minimum maybe of an hour. If you get involved in something pretty serious, like a raid or into a raiding guild, you could be on for 5, 6, 7 hours in one setting.
Okay, can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
Because I've got to examine your symbol system here. You just said, if you get involved in something serious like a raid, this is a game.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, to me, that would be saying, if you play Monopoly and you get into something serious, like somebody's got a hotel on Boardwalk, you're like screwed for 6 hours. I mean, do you understand? That's how that sounds. It's a game like Monopoly or Sorry or or whatever. It's just got better graphics.
Yeah.
And it's a game that he is devoting 80 hours a week to right now.
Yeah. They call it Evercrack.
Yeah.
Because you get addicted to it. How long has this been going on?
9 years. When our little boy was 3 years old, and he's 11 now.
That's the 3-year-old he didn't feed.
Right.
It's the child that took medicine that could have been life-threatening.
Right. And when I came home from
We've had a
work,
broken arm, medicines.
Division of Family Services called into our home twice over this. And when my daughter, our daughter, went to the hospital this last time about a month and a half ago, I came home and I was met at the door saying, "Mommy, I almost killed your baby." I asked Bob, who was playing the computer, I said, "Where is Chloe right now?" And he goes, "Oh, she's over there sleeping on the couch." I said, "My God, is she in a coma? Or did you call poison control?" "No." And he said, "I just thought you would deal with that when you came home."
Okay, it's taken you 9 years to figure out this isn't okay?
No, I knew it long before that.
So what are you waiting on? For a child to die? For the house to burn down? For him to take up with some eagle maiden from the game or something? What is it you're waiting on?
I was just hoping that things would change, that he would wake up and see the light, afraid to move on.
You realize if I was just kind of listening to y'all's story and said, well, you know, good luck to you and let you out of here, that I'd be doing you a huge disservice. You got to pull your head out. You're going to lose your family. You're going to lose your kids. You may not like her much. I get the feeling you don't care much for her. Is that true?
No, I love her.
That wasn't what I asked you. I said you don't like her much. You don't enjoy being around. You don't enjoy talking to her. You don't feel comforted by her. Because let me tell you, there's something wrong when somebody would rather deal with a computer screen than a real, live, living, breathing. I mean, you understand, you're coming in second to some electronics.
Yes, I'm coming in dead last. I lost my husband to the computer. He's married to the computer. He's no longer married to me.
What do you think these kids, my kids are 28 and 21, and I look back so thankful that as a young master of the universe, I didn't work 20 hours a day like I did when I first got married, and that I coached those kids and played games with. I coached basketball for 14 years, and I can't hit the ground with the ball. But I was there with the boys, you know. You can't miss that. There's no way to get it back. There's no way to get it
with that.
back.
They've got a little 5th grade Spartans basketball team, or football, and I've helped coach the football team.
How many hours a week do you spend on EverQuest?
Too damn many.
About a minimum of 60, a maximum of 80.
Okay, she says 60 to 80. We'll call it 50 hours a week that you could spend with your kids, with your wife, in therapy, any number of things that would be constructive. Well, Bob's wife's moved out. They've had 2 Department of Family Services reports filed against him, one of them because of his admitted addiction to the online game, EverQuest. I don't know how the social worker read that when it came in. So the question is he ever going to stop playing? And is it the real problem, or is it where he's escaping to because he doesn't like what's happening in the real world? I'll tell you what I think about that when we come back. Well, Tiffany recently moved out of the house because she just can't trust Bob to care for their children. She says he's so addicted to this online game that he forgets to feed or watch them or supervise them in any way. Now your son is doing the same thing. I said something when we went to break. I said, because I always look at something, I always ask myself if what I'm seeing, is that the problem, or is that a symptom of the problem? Is it a byproduct of the problem? When you play this game, you don't have to fight. you don't have to worry. You don't have to contend. You don't have to sacrifice. You don't have to do any of the things that we call marriage, that we call parenting. I mean, it's a very low demand situation, right? You know, I mean, financial worries. You don't have any real life worries with your wife or your kids. You can just lose yourself in it. It's a fantasy. It's an escape. So, you know, and it may seem like a thin line between hobby and obsession, but I want you to just role play with me for a minute. How old's your youngest child?
2.
2. So let's say it's 18 years from now and she's 20 and says to you, Bob, how come I had to grow up without my daddy? What are you going to say?
There's no justifiable explanation for that.
That's not an answer, Bob. I'm asking you, how come I had to grow up without my daddy? What are you going to tell her?
I had my head up my ass.
You could say I had a choice. Come over here and look at this computer. See, I've now got like 40 accounts on EverQuest, and I'm the head Eagle Warrior. Well, but Dad, I was so hungry for male attention that the first hairy-legged boy that paid me attention and whispered in my ear got me pregnant when I was 14. How does that compare to how you're scoring in your EverQuest game? Because you know that's what happens when little girls don't feel love and acceptance and validation and value from their dad. They go look for it, and they will get it from the first guy that's willing to tell them what they need to hear because you were too busy.
I don't want that to happen. That's why I'm here.
And you know I'm telling you, I'm telling you the truth.
You are.
You know I'm telling you
We
the
already
truth.
see it in our 5-year-old. You bringing that up, she's already showing lots of interest in boys.
You think? Because they're
Already
hungry
5.
for it. It's the natural order of things. They want acceptance from the other side, the other sex. They want acceptance from that. If those little girls feel like you are one person in this world that loves them and thinks they're special and teaches them to value themselves and love themselves and protect themselves, they will walk through this world with their head up high, with pride and dignity. And when some old boy comes along and says, hey, I love you, she'll say, yeah, like, get in line. My daddy loves me, and he ain't trying to do this or do that. They'll put up a stop sign in a fast hurry. They'll put up a stop sign in a fast hurry because they don't have a void. They know that they're important to you. You got one choice, and it's got 2 steps. Number 1, you need to get rid of those games. You need to get those computers out of there. You need to get off. You can't kind of get off, sort of get off, maybe get off. You got to get off. You got to sign off. You got to quit, and you got to not ever go back. And second, you two need to get busy on your marriage because it's not just the game. You are escaping the reality of this union. And until you heal that, you're going to be vulnerable to the other. All right, coming up, what do you do if it's your child you can't control on the computer? You're going to meet 2 parents who say they don't know how to stop their